Right, so today we're looking at part 15 of Big Ed and Liz on 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 7, which is the final episode before the tell-all. So last time out, Liz got offered a partnership at Encontro, which is the restaurant she's been working at for the past 3 years. Although it was great news for her, providing her with the financial stability she's been craving, Ed wasn't too pleased. Although he didn't tell her not to take the job, he said that he didn't want to go back to the times when she was working long hours and spending time with her co-workers who don't particularly like him. To add to their issues, this season Big Ed has revealed that he hasn't spoken to his mother since the pair fell out over Ed's relationship with Liz over a year ago. Today, however, he's finally reached out to her so that they can try and repair their relationship and so that he can get advice on all of the problems that he's been having with Liz.
I do sort of feel that Liz is putting herself first and our relationship second. And I'm realizing that I have to do the same thing.
First of all, this is such a terrible mentality to have. There are of course plenty of times in a relationship where you should prioritise yourself, as Liz is quite rightly doing herself here. But the angle he's going with makes it seem so much more selfish and spiteful. He should prioritise himself when he feels like it's the right thing to do, not when she's prioritising herself and he wants to get even. And anyway, he says he's doing that now, but he's been doing that for the entirety of the relationship. Like, when has he ever done anything for her that hasn't been in his own interests?
Edward!
Oh, Mom, Jesus. You scared the crap out of me.
I'm fine.
How's it going?
Oh, she looks really happy to see Ed. I wondered whether she might be angry at Ed for cutting her out of his life or for choosing Liz over her, and I'm sure she does to no small extent, but it's still nice to see her go into things so positively. At the end of the day, she is his mother, so more than anything, she's probably just glad to finally see him again. That said, she doesn't take long to get serious and make her feelings known.
When you love somebody, why push everybody away? It doesn't make sense. Does not make sense.
To be a little bit fair to Ed here, last time they met, Norma said that Liz was going to ruin his life and that being with her was the worst mistake he could make. Whilst there are certainly fair grounds for her doubts, I can see to some extent at least why he would want to block out the negativity and just move forward with his life with the person that he claims to love. That said, blocking her out of his life entirely rather than just acknowledging her points and then asking her to leave it and just allow him to make his own mistakes was probably a little bit too far. And he does actually seem to realise that now.
Mom, I'm sorry. I just knew if I didn't jump in with both feet, I wouldn't have a chance with Liz.
Yeah, that's just typical Big Ed, isn't it? There's no finding a balance or middle ground, it's just all or nothing. In fact, he doesn't even just jump in with both feet. He plays to his strengths and does exactly what he appears to have been designed to do and cannonballs in.
For the most part, I'm happy, but...
For the most part, but not the whole part.
I mean, no one's 100% happy, Mom.
This is one of the sadder things about the way Ed views his relationships. He really just normalizes how bad they all are. Like, yeah, everyone has their disagreements and things aren't always perfect, but not everyone has 9 full breakups. Not everyone gets engaged and then demands their engagement ring back after every big fight. And not everyone breaks up, goes to a different country to date someone else, gets dumped by them, and then comes home and gets engaged to their ex within a week. Like, yeah, sure, maybe no one is 100% happy, but none of this is normal.
I'm happy, but we just, we're not ready to get married.
You're not ready yet.
No.
Good for you. Good for you. Remember, Ed, live for yourself.
Well, that is clearly music to Norma's ears, isn't it? A few episodes ago, there were a lot of inconsistencies in Big Ed's stories about Norma disliking Liz. And so I suggested that maybe Norma's issue is actually with Ed for kicking her out, and that he was just spinning it all and pinning all the blame on Liz. But now, having just watched that response, maybe I was wrong there. Maybe Norma's frustrations really are with Liz.
This is my shoulder for you, son. Anytime. Just drive to my house and talk to me.
It wouldn't be a Big Ed video without Big Ed blubbering away about something. It is sad though, I really do feel quite bad for Norma. Ed's been such a massive part of her life for so long, and you can tell that she's really missed having him there. Although, I have to say, it's nice in some ways that she's got him back, but I do think she enables him a little bit. And so I worry for Liz's sake that Ed's mindset is shifting from him and Liz versus his mum, to him and his mum versus Liz.
So, do you want to see Liz?
I'm not ready for this situation. I just want you to be happy.
Yeah, I think with the distinct lack of optimism that Ed led with there, he knew how she was going to respond to that one. I'm sure he'll want to get Norma on board if he does go through with the marriage, but talking about all of their problems definitely won't have helped. Like, if she came into this not particularly liking Liz, hearing that she isn't making Ed happy isn't going to make things any better. With all the disagreements he's been having with Liz, rather than trying to get Norma to approve of her, maybe he's actually just trying to get his mum to fight his corner. Well, after that emotional reunion, Big Ed heads off home to tell Liz how it went. And for a relaxing setting, he's decided to have the stressful conversation in the tranquility of his hot tub.
Oh, this feels so good. Oh.
Does this scene make anyone else disturbingly hungry? I know my mouth definitely shouldn't be watering at this sight, but he looks so much like a boiled egg bubbling away in that pan that I just can't take my mind off food. He's a few well-buttered soldiers away from being a perfect breakfast. Anyway, perhaps this saga has been going on too long and I'm starting to lose my mind a little, so on with the drama.
Every time I brought up your name, she wouldn't touch it. It was kind of funny.
Hilarious. Someone remind me to book tickets for this man's next stand-up comedy gig in Vegas. Seriously, how is he saying that, knowing how much it'll hurt Liz to hear and how bad it is for the relationship, whilst laughing? If this was awkward, nervous laughter, I know this would be quite hypocritical of me, but this strikes me as purposefully insensitive.
I mean, she's, I don't think, ready. I didn't want to push it.
Well, I'm not ready either.
I'm not really sure what they mean here. It's not like there was a big fight between them that they need time to get over. I know there was all the drama about Ed kicking Norma out for Liz, but that's not really Norma or Liz's fault. And anyway, that happened over a year ago now. To me at least, more than anything else, it seems like Big Ed is playing them off each other. I mean, he's not exactly helped the situation with either of them, has he?
I just feel I can't move forward marrying Liz until I have my mom's support.
Then why wasn't he trying to obtain it? She said she wasn't ready to see Liz, and he was quite right to respect that, but there was no inkling of hope or positivity there. He could have told Norma that he wants the two of them to get on, or that Liz wants to reconcile things with her, or that their problems can be overcome, but he didn't even try. He just told Norma all these negative things about Liz and then just left it there. Anyway, that was the end of the conversation, and so shortly after, the pair of them went off to bed. The day after, Liz speaks to her boss at Encontro about the partnership offer. He tells her that the role does come with more responsibilities, but that it also comes with a 10% share in the company, as well as a substantial pay rise. In response, she says that she'd be silly to reject the offer and says yes. So now she's back home to tell Ed the good news. But given his response when she got the initial offer, she's apprehensive about how he's going to react.
I did tell him I'm gonna take the position.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Ed doesn't actually seem too surprised. Maybe he saw this coming. What's surprising to me about all of this though is that Liz made the decision pretty much by herself. I was expecting her to tell Ed the details of the offer and then make the decision with him, or even have him tell her what she has to say, but she came to her decision there and then and locked it in.
I would never try to hold you back, and I'll support you, but as long as you're supporting this relationship and me, I would say go for it.
Nice that he's being quite supportive, but how's he going to say that he's never going to try and hold her back after doing exactly that almost constantly over the past few months? He's the anchor to her ship of happiness and the iron bars to the prison cell that this relationship has become. And him saying that he'll support her. Liz relying on him for support is like the three little piggies relying on sticks and straw to support the structural integrity of their houses. Anyway, enough with the analogies. So with the whole issue of whether or not to accept the job offer now decided, Liz wants to discuss the wedding.
I think marriage has been weighing on my mind a lot. I would like to eventually start seeing if it's going to be in our future.
Nice. A very fair and reasonable way of bringing up the topic. Not pushing him for a decision or pressuring him one way or another. Not even asking the question of whether they're going to get married or not. Just gently floating the idea of eventually discussing it as an important part of their future. I wonder if Ed will handle this conversation in kind.
Right now, I can't give you an answer on marriage. I'm not ready to marry anyone.
Right, not sure why he had to specify anyone there. She was quite clearly asking for herself. But following the conversation he had with Norma, I think we were expecting him to say not now anyway. It's funny though, I never thought Ed would be the one to slow things down in a relationship.
Us getting married right now would literally be a contract for divorce with all the issues that we need to work through still.
You know what? A broken clock is right twice a day, and Big Ed's tiny little arms are pointing to the right numbers here. It's weird though, I should feel proud of him for taking a step back and identifying things that they need to work on first if they're ever going to have a healthy marriage. But I can't shake the feeling that he's getting a lot of enjoyment from being in control of something that she wants in the relationship and denying her of it.
I know, but it is something that as I'm thinking about the future and now like wanting to be secure,
I am not going to be pressured into getting married.
Yeah, see, that is exactly what I mean. He is immediately using it against her. He's now making himself out to be a victim of her horrible pressure, and he's really driving home the message that he's the one in control of this situation. Obviously, Liz is reiterating her desire to get married after he said he's not ready, but she's not exactly forcing it down his throat, is she?
I'm not ready.
Pressuring? I was just saying I would like to think or talk or anything like that.
I'm not ready.
I mean, I get that he's not ready to get married yet, but it's not like they're discussing it on their third date like he did with Kaori. They're literally engaged. Rather than shutting her down and just repeating that he's not ready, why doesn't he use this as an opportunity to talk about things that he wants to work on before they get married, so that it's actually constructive, rather than curling up into a ball and ignoring it?
I don't feel like I'm being heard.
You are being heard.
I don't feel like I'm being heard.
Would you shut up so I can explain to you that you were heard? The fact that I'm getting angry... Okay.
I'm not surprised she's losing her cool. I think I've mentioned a couple of times now that it's well documented that manipulative people go to therapy so that they can be more manipulative. And that feels like exactly what's going on here. He's using terminology that makes him sound like a victim when in reality she's reacting very reasonably to his weirdly stubborn behavior.
I'm sorry for telling you to shut up.
I'm not telling you I don't want to marry you. Baby, I'm not saying that. I'm just not ready.
Right, but she's not saying marry me now. She's saying that she just wants to discuss it at some point. Like, what is she supposed to think? She doesn't know if it's something to do with her that she can change. She doesn't know if it's just the timing and he'll come around to it. And she doesn't know if this is related to the fact that she's just accepted the job offer. Like, with Riley now potentially on her way, she's finally got the financial stability that she's been craving. But now her marriage and relationship are completely up in the air. Like, at least give her some sort of explanation so that she's not just sat there completely in the dark.
I'm not ready to get married. I don't know when I will. I'm just not ready to get married.
He is so unbelievably useless, isn't he? How hard would it have been for him to have just said, I'm not ready yet, but I still fully hope and intend to marry you one day, and I just want to iron a few things out first. It's just that underlying theme again, isn't it? He doesn't want her to feel reassured and happy. I really do believe that he wants her to feel like this.
I don't deserve the drama anymore. I don't deserve the heartbreak. I don't deserve it anymore.
Too right, Liz, you don't. That's what we've all been saying to you for years now. She needs to fully accept that there's no light at the end of the tunnel and that there's no peace or stability with Ed, so that she can finally leave him and finally move on. Hopefully she does, but unfortunately this is the final episode before the tell-all. So next time out we'll be back to see how they've been getting on in the months since this episode aired. And oh my goodness, from what I've seen so far, this might genuinely be one of the most explosive and dramatic tell-all episodes that have ever aired. So if you enjoyed today's video, please feel free to subscribe down below so you can catch those tell-all episodes as soon as they're out, as well as catching more videos just like this one in future. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.